I think it's time for a DPS build guide. I had a lot of time to test out a few builds since Secrets of the Obscure launched, and lots of them are very good. But none compared to how much fun I had with the Catalyst build, which was nerfed once, but is still a top DPS build. Before we start checking out the build, I want to mention that this build is for group content, as you will be very squishy and without boons. If you want to play it in open world, I recommend to change it to the quickness support and switch your sword with a scepter, as it still does plenty of damage and you're not forced into melee range. That is how I played it, and it worked while I could dodge things. If you get hit, your HP is like paper, so be careful. Okay, now that we got the warning out of the way, let's talk about the build. We are going to use full Berserker armor with runes of the Dragon Hunter. If you still have your old runes of the Scholar, you can still use them, as the increase in DPS is not worth 18 or 19 gold. For the weapons, we go with a sword and warhorn, which is basically the most powerful combination for a power elementalist after Secrets of the Obscure launched, and we use Sigil of Force and Sigil of Impact with Berserker stats. For the trinkets, we go with Berserker as well. And for the relic, we have Relic of Fireworks, which synergizes very good with the Warhorn skills. Okay, now let's take a look at the traits. So we are going to use Fire and Air for the basic traits with Burning Precision, Power Overwhelming, and Persisting Flames. In Air, we are going to use Ferocious Winds, Storm Soul, and Bolt to the Heart. As for the Catalyst, we are going to use Vicious Empowerment, Empowering Auras, and Empowered Empowerment. So a lot of empower. As for the skills, we are going to go with Signet of Restoration because of how many attacks we are going to do. Then we have Firestorm, this is a pretty powerful utility skill. And then we have Relentless Fire for a big damage increase, Arcane Blast, and the elite is Elemental Celerity. Okay, let's take a look at the rotation. The first thing that you need to do is to go to Air Attunement, because we are going to start with Lightning Storm. This skill does more damage in air, and it also has a longer cooldown, so there is a trade-off. So we're going to start with that, and then we are going to use Lightning Orb, Polaric Leap, so Sword 2 and then Sword 3. At the same time, we are going to deploy the Jade Sphere in air and switch immediately to fire. So let's see how it will look. We are going to use the Lightning Storm, and then immediately after we are going to use Lightning Orb to proc Relic of Fireworks. And then we teleport to the boss and use skill tree. It's important because you can cast skill tree, and while the animation is finishing up, you can deploy the Jade Spheres and switch attunements. So it would look something like this. Now that I casted both spheres, I can use skill 5 to keep up my Relic of Fireworks, and also use Relentless Fire. Now I will use skill 2, 3, and also I will use Arcane Blast in the fire field to also proc some burning. After I use this, it's important to also use Elemental Celerity to reset my skills, so that it will look something like this. I will use my big skills, and then I will refresh them by using the Elemental Celerity. And just go again and use those, and we'll continue with the rotation. Okay, that was the first part. So these are the most powerful elements for you. We are also going to go in Earth Attunement, and we're going to use Dust Storm to keep up Relic of Fireworks and use skill 2 entry, which skill 2 is a very good CC, and skill 3 does a lot of damage. And then we are going to apply the same logic with deploy Jade Sphere. We are going to use this one at the same time with the water field, with the water sphere, sorry. So we are going to use skill 5, 2, 3, and while this is being casted, you can go and use the Jade Sphere in earth and then water. And in water you won't stay long because you can use just the skill 3 and 4 for a knockdown, and then go back again to air and repeat. We are going to use again skill 5, 2, and 3, and Lightning Storm will be on cooldown, so you'll probably use it in fire. Okay, I will perform the rotation again, but at a slower pace, so you can see the skills that I will be using. And also, before we start, another important point is that I will be using the Jade Spheres when they are at least 75% charged, so that I can cast this one and the element that I will be switching to immediately, so that you will have a faster recharge on them, because you will not gain any energy for your Jade Sphere if one Jade Sphere is already on the ground. So they should finish very close to each other so that you can gather energy immediately, so you can use in the other elements. Okay, let's start the rotation. So I will use Lightning Storm, 5, 3, 2, Jade Sphere, 5, Relentless Fire, 2, 3, again, reset with Elemental Serenity, 5, 2, and now switch to Earth, 5, to keep up the Fireworks Relic, 2, and fast from Earth to Water, 3, 4, and then we go again to Lightning, and we will start using 5, 2, 3 again, and we see we have enough energy to deploy the Jade Sphere again, and that means we will use it like this. And don't forget your Relentless Fire so that you have a nice damage increase. Okay, this is pretty much the rotation. I will just skip ahead, and I will also leave the numbers in the chat so you can see how much it does. I will go reset the Golem and be right back. Okay, let's start. Also for the food, I'm using plates of steak and asparagus and the hardened sharpening stones. So not the most expensive food and utility, but something that will do the job if you're on a budget. Okay, let's start. Let's reset it and go. Okay, as you can see, you can get some pretty decent numbers with not that fast of a rotation. You can definitely improve this. If I try really hard, I can get to around 34,000 damage. But I think this is also a very fun build in the way it plays. Okay, now that you've seen the rotation, let me show you what this build can do in action. I will do a random pack group with IBS 5 and Dragonstorm, plus one of the SotO strikes.
Time to do some real damage. Replenishing. Don't get burned. An ancient mountain, sharper still.
Suffocate!
They'll have to hit much harder. Another. Pounded into dust. Another. Sick 'em. A thousand storms.
And that is pretty much it. I really like how the combat feels on this build. It is fairly cheap to equip and you can use almost the same gear for the quickness variant, which makes finding groups a lot easier. You just need to pay attention to your quickness uptime for a bit, but it is worth it. What do you think about Elementalist in PvE? Do you like the playstyle? Or you prefer something more forgiving? Let me know in the comments. If you want to see more content like this, please let me know in the comment section below, and if you enjoyed the video, please click the like and subscribe buttons.